Hello and welcome to Evil Ginger Miniatures, where I'm doing a test painting this model, and I'm also going to be talking about Orange Cat Games partly released Kickstarter project Tomb of the Ancient Moor King, which I've backed. And the reason for the setup is not just a test, but it's so I can actually read the text, because it's on the laptop, which is just beyond the screen over that way. I backed this earlier this year, and about a week ago I was notified that it had been partially fulfilled and I could download the PDF of the project. And I have read the PDF through a couple of times, and I thought it was worthy of a review. And as I like using things to kill more birds with one stone, I'm also going to be using it to play with this technique of filming while I'm painting. And I'm just priming this figure while I'm doing it. The adventure itself is, and this is going to be a spoiler for review, so I'm not going to tell you anything that happens in the adventure. But I will go over details where they're not plot relevant, because it's an adventure which would be very much benefit from players playing it sight unseen, so they don't know what's going on, other than what the GM tells them, which again is a very old school way of doing things, and I think works very well for this. The adventure is just the dungeon. There's no campaign setting around it, so if you want one, you'd have to entirely work this into your own campaign, which I'm fine with, because I often take things with settings and chop them up and do just that. So you've got the dungeon. The dungeon is not huge, but it does give a lot of variety and challenges for the adventurer as you go through them, and not every class is going to get their day. It's a tomb, so you can expect what to find in there. It's also designed in a way that's unconventional for a dungeon. It looks more like one of the trap dungeons that the people who do DCC do for the funnel. It's very short, very intense, and players will come out of it with a nice reward if they do it properly. If they don't do it properly, they'll come over thoroughly screwed over, but that's always the way it should be. Or if they do it really badly, they won't come out of it at all, and again, that's the way it should be. The stats, such as they are in the module, are all pretty generic. OSR, first, second ed level. There are some nice descriptions of the areas, and you can get floor plans and things to go with this. But the floor plan itself is fairly small, and there's lots of use of different terrain, and the encounters are all very well designed, and it's quite intense encounter wise, in that there's not a lot of travelling between encounters. The basic setup is you get to talk to this elderly bard who is too old to adventure himself. All his best material is getting a bit old, like him, because it's all based on him and his adventuring group when he was an active adventurer, and basically he knows where the tomb is, he can give directions, the party can then go off and explore the tomb, and he will give them this information, for an oath that they will come back and then they will tell him the story in detail so he can weave it into a load of new songs and perhaps be a bit of a mentor to the party thereafter if they don't mess him about. Again, he's old, but he's a very powerful adventurer and very experienced. Now, it also comes with a number of pre-generated characters which cover all the bases quite nicely and have got some original concepts to them and are featured in the artwork throughout the module. So you've got, excuse me while I thumb through it, this is what the mouse is for. Just bear with me a second. So nice mix, and the character artwork that goes with them is really nice. And if you back the Kickstarter, you could get a model for each of these. It's a 3D printed model, and you could use that in the adventure. Again, you could also get dungeon floor plans. I'm probably going to be making my own dungeon floor plans because you might be aware that I quite like doing that. And because the dungeon isn't a conventional dungeon in its structure, this will allow me to try something different. So I'm making my own. The map is really good, and being old school, it's all marked out in squares, so I can quite happily convert the squares it's marked out into the 30mm ones that I use on my floor plans. As I say, I'd like to see a lot more from these people. It's good, it's solid, it fits nicely into a campaign, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have every intention of converting to Hackmaster, and will possibly be posting the conversion notes for free at some point. But again, I've got to have a think about this, as Hackmaster, whilst it's in the spirit of OSR, isn't quite OSR, and there are some bits and pieces in it and encounters which will be a damn sight more dangerous in Hackmaster than they will be in most other forms of OSR. So I'll talk more about this later. But Orange Cat Games, decent company, nice product, should be out relatively soon, and I'm looking forward to the physical product when it arrives because I'm going to enjoy running it. That's it for now. Take care everyone, and goodbye.